Here are the final 5 nominees for Player's Voice, a 100% fan-voted award. Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Dispatch, Genshin Impact, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Wuthering Waves.
He still said it wrong.
This year, the fans selected Wuthering Waves as the winner. Congratulations.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it does appear that Wuthering Waves has done it. In the first, dare I say, official measure of which gacha game is better on the market, it appears that Wuthering Waves has just straight up won in the first time these games have ever actually clashed. And I think that it's clear to see that the gacha space as a whole is an absolute shambles. At least, well, parts of it. And mainstream gaming as a whole, parts of it are in shambles as well with what has just occurred over here. Because yes, ladies and gentlemen, I think that this is one of the most unexpected things that has ever actually occurred at the Game Awards before. And let me just explain to you the context, and let me just explain to you why this is just such a momentous occasion for the entire population. So let me just break it all down. So the games that you see in competition over here with Wuthering Waves, outside of Genshin Impact one, the one that I obviously talked about at the start, are some of the best games on the market, are some of the best games that have just been released this year. Not even thinking about like console, not even thinking about like monetization or how it's played. Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, won and set the record for the most Game Awards that a game has ever gotten in 1 year. It broke the record. That's how good the fucking game was. It won 9 out of 11 nominations. Dispatch was another cult classic fan favorite with what was going on there. And then Hollow Knight Silksong, also considered one of the best games released this year too. Incredibly nostalgic platformer. And Wuthering Waves, the gacha game, the Chinese slop, as they typically call it, right, in mainstream gaming media. That's the game that happened to win over all of these other titles. And I think this shock, this level of just like disbelief should be expected. Because I don't actually think anyone, even Wuthering Waves fans, the biggest Andes, I don't think even they thought this game was going to win this award. I didn't expect the game to win this award. I just hoped that Genshin didn't win it, because Genshin was without a doubt the most undeserving title on here, just in terms of like overall quality, right? Genshin is literally the worst game on here. But to win? Jesus Christ. Nobody saw that coming. And do you want to know what makes a victory like this so sweet? Do you want to know a part of the reason for why we're getting so many absurd reactions? Look at the reactions in mainstream, like from the mainstream gaming space. We got S-Fan over here. You all might be familiar with him. How the fuck did Wuthering Waves beat Expedition 33? That's the main thing that people are thinking right now. You got the VAs for the game. You got good old James Day over here celebrating. And I'm going to be real, I don't think that there's anyone in the community that actually thought we were going to win this. And then, of course, you're going to have people that are already beginning to, the Hoyosho side of the equation, they're already beginning to create their own narratives, right? For why this victory is not meaningful at all. And do you want to know the best part about this? This whole statement of won the only gimmick award and lost the award people couldn't vote on. Guys, this was the only award that Genshin was eligible for in the entire award show. So you're going to hear this narrative spread from here on out. That the award is fake because it's the only fan-voted one. But that was the only award that Genshin was eligible for. That's the only Hoyoverse game on here, is Genshin Impact for the Player's Voice Award. So in a sense, all we've done is just shit on the game that we're trying to propel up. A Hoyosho literally hurt themselves in their own confusion. They got the status effect on them permanently. No matter what consumable they use, it don't work. It doesn't get cleansed. And of course, right, the rage baiting doesn't end here. And I think the thing, though, that a lot of people are realizing is just this statement over here. And excuse the wajaja from Legions on the screen. This is a reaction from a well-known streamer who loves Wuthering Waves, but is also widely known across the mainstream gaming media.
Genshin fanbase just exploded. Nobody plays Wuthering Waves is the better game.
And this is the thing. Wuthering Waves is now the game that's getting recognized in the mainstream. The game that is known as the title that beat Clair Obscur. There's 4 nominees. There's 5 nominees for every award, right? There's been 36. Sorry, there's been like 43 games that didn't beat Clair Obscur. Wuthering Waves is one of only 2 games that beat Clair Obscur in these game awards. When Clair Obscur wins 9 out of 11 awards, this means that Wuwa is one of the 2 out of fucking 40-something games that beat Clair Obscur. Because there's 5 nominees, and they were nominated for 11 awards. They won 9 out of 11. Sorry. Do you realize how fucking crazy that is? It's out of 44 total. I guess that's the power of the Kurobots. And do you want to know what makes this victory even sweeter? This level of unexpectedness tastes even more sweet. It's the rampant amount of doom posting. The literal misinformation. Edited AI images. People that were doom posting so much and creating so much misinformation that the government had to get involved. That's how this gathering community notes meme compilation was even made, because there's so many Hoyoverse players that were on the record just making up literal actual lies about Wuwa to tarnish its reputation as much as possible heading into the Players' Voice Awards, because they desperately wanted people to not vote for this game. And so they lied through their teeth about everything possible, even going so far as to pay for AI to run the regular art of the game through AI and then resend it through a checker. And then they're faking mobile performance too. And then they're going ahead and they're creating duplicate accounts. Because guess what, guys? This person over here is saying that they faked this. How do you fake this? Somebody put in the fucking work to make this image. They either photoshopped 50 individual profile pictures onto the same one, which also takes, like, no matter what they did, they spent an extraordinary amount of time on this. Just think about how long it would take to compile this and, like, save it and edit it and place them all like this. That took time to fucking do anyways. And so the guy's just like, I didn't actually do this, it's fake. You can't fake this. Somebody made this image. They did this. And then this is even another community note that got gathered, ladies and gentlemen. This is all what went on up to 3 to 4 weeks prior to the Game Awards. And then when you factor in, right, that Hoyoverse's titles are in the worst state that they've ever been. When you factor in that you got games like Honkai Star Rail that are having their 4.0 patch delayed, and Genshin's on 6.2, which is one of the worst patches ever. That's the reason for why these guys are taking on all of these extracurricular activities. And even then, with all these concentrated efforts and all of that willpower, all the community notes, all the wasted money on AI engines and AI licenses, guys, it was all for a literal drop of blood. Or anything. If anything, it helped. Do you want to know why? I think all this did was help publicize the game. And in fact, I think all this did was potentially even help the game actually win, because people saw how much actual nonsense was getting sent out. And apparently we've got a developer message too regarding this situation. Oh, there we go. Hey, we're gonna have a separate react to this one later. But yeah, all I've got to say is that this award, this journey, there's a lot of reasons for why it feels so special. And I think that, you know, if you're just somebody that's been keeping along with the game, which I think this message is intended for, it's already something that's significant. But if you're somebody that's been like a part of its community and has just been, you know, like seeing the meta discourse, the discussion regarding the game, this Game Awards as a whole, I feel like has been one of the most fulfilling experiences that you can have. It feels like a victory on pretty much every single front imaginable, and I don't think anybody can disagree. It's a victory from just like a game recognition angle in the mainstream. It's a victory from the developers in, you know, actually having their work recognized, and then it's a victory for the community as well, where you know that at this point, any discourse surrounding this game is so easy to refute. It's so easy to actually like know the truth regarding this. And I feel like Misinformation as a whole is just not really going to be the same after this saga and after this arc that we've actually gone on. Because I feel like now it's just the level of like vigilancy, the awareness, all of that. It's going to be so much higher. And I think the sweetest part about all of this is I don't think we'll ever see a player base this much in shambles ever again. They're all going to be crashing out, and we're probably going to have some more follow-up videos to make on this topic in the future. But for now, hell, it's Friday. And if it wasn't, just look at the time of the recording over here, if it wasn't 4:45 a.m., I might actually go have like a beer or like an old-fashioned or something. But yeah, I'm probably gonna get some sleep instead. But yeah, it was awesome sharing this moment with all of y'all. And of course, we just had the 3.0 live stream too. And I'll just say in regards to that, this victory, on top of seeing everything that's been amazing in 3.02 and everything that we saw in the live stream, bro, I feel like every single player of this game, they're close to like on cloud 9 right now, because we are eating so good. It is unbelievable, brother. So yeah, let me know what you all thought. Peace out.